company or that has experience in the cannabis industry, please, forward them to us or to me directly. We will definitely take them seriously. It's really hard to find people right now, so we need the extra help. So just as a recap of who we are as a company, we now represent 50% of the cannabis industry, and we're currently working with 14 companies directly. So thank you everybody for your support, and thank you for working with us. It's been a fun 2 years. Now, the goal of the meeting today is really to simplify your access to private retailers' data and to easily access distribution. And like I said, there's a lot of reports and a lot of things that have been changed since yesterday in the system. Out of the 1,800 accounts, we have over 245 chains that are currently in our database. So this list will be sent to you after this call. It's important to note that within those chain and retailers information, not all of the data is available. So for example, in this case, if I take 420, we don't have the supplier information. We do have the quantity inventory. In some cases, for example, for Bun Mart, we don't actually have the quantity inventory. We have a yes or a no if they're carrying it or not. So data can be different from one retailer to another. So it's important to keep that in mind. Same thing applies to the brand, which is available everywhere, the UPC, which is available somewhere, and as well as the format of the SKU, where it's available everywhere. Okay, but very important, what we're putting and what we've put available in the system is really the inventory quantity, which will allow you to see where your products are or are not. Now, as you know, we launched a couple of months back the provincial product management tab, and we've standardized recently how you are entering those national descriptions in our system. What's the major change is the new way of writing and standardizing throughout all of our clients how the national distribution is. Description of the SKU is. So I just want to kind of recap this for those who are not aware of it. You simply click on the national description, click on a new category, and when you're completing a new product, you're actually entering the product name. I'm going to put an example, Marika's product. I enter the UPC number, enter the number of packaging, so if it's a 1 unit of 3.5 grams, simply write it here. Then I check the segment, so in this case I'm entering a dried flower product. The brand is already selected because I had already filtered it. The national description of the supplier is Oxley in this case, and then I can click on whole flower. So when I click on save and I've entered all properly the different sections, basically there's a pop-up and asking you if the product is properly entered. You agree with this national description, you click on OK, and then that national description is available for you, and you can easily link it to any of your products in the report itself afterwards. Now this was a step one. This is a very important step because as we told you in the emails that we've been sending in the last month, is that we're working on AI, artificial intelligence. So it's very important to have some of those national descriptions entered in the system for the AI to understand what to do next. Without those national descriptions, it's impossible for the AI to know what to do. Now in the presentation I will be sending you, all of these steps that I just followed and showed you how to enter a national description will be in the PowerPoint as well. Now the new thing that we've actually are launching officially today is the fact that now you can, well today I'm explaining to you more in detail, is the fact that you can now do mass national description changes, which will really simplify and help you to enter those national descriptions. Now the big change is basically clicking on enable row selection. So for those who are used to doing territory changes in the all stores and licensee, the concept is exactly the same. You can basically pick and choose the names of the descriptions and the products you want to change a national description for. You can also use any of the filtering options. So if you are looking for only capsules in this case, it will automatically filter on those. So this extra column pops up on the left. You can set a national description, and then it will ask you Are you sure that you've checked if the brand, the supplier, the format, and the category are aligned? And then you can click on any product description that you want. And then, yes, I confirm that these 5 changes for the 5 products I've selected will go to this national product description. Okay. Now, this is very important at the provincial level to enter the national descriptions for the AI to work. Okay. And this is simplifying and will save everybody time when doing so. Now, this is just basically what I said. In terms of artificial intelligence, we will officially launch it in June. So please, for those who don't have many national descriptions in the system, it would be important to have somebody look at them, review them at the provincial level, and make sure that those are there. Now, step 2. For a few clients, we've been testing this out for the last couple of weeks. It's a step 2 in product management where you can also add the retailer. Now, if you believe you have a lot of national descriptions already in your system and you're ready to go to the next step, and there are several retailers that you feel are very important for you to track sooner rather than later, we can add that to your product management. Now let me pull one of our clients' tabs, and I'm going to take this client as an example. Now, as you can see here, in terms of retailer, and again, we have to be able to, you need to inform us if you are ready for us to add this extra column in this report, because as you can see, the count and the number of SKUs in terms of national descriptions will be much longer. It's not only the 7 provinces across Canada, it will be all of the retailers, so the 245 retailers we're tracking, and how they are naming all of the different SKUs across the country. So some clients may have 5,000, 10,000 different rows with no national description. So again, if there's certain retailers that are important to you, I would strongly advise you to ask us to add this extra column for you. That way you will be able to add those national descriptions in the system. That way everything will be linked in the back end. Now, for example, in this case, I can see a lot of retailers with all of the different names and the national descriptions on the right. Now, what does that mean for ezfocus? It means a lot of stuff. The first thing, which is really neat, is that we've added an extra little star after all of the names of the banners in the system for you to easily know which banners we actually have information for. So for example, in this case, I took an example of the top stores. So in the top stores, if I want to filter all of the accounts that we actually track inventory and information of your products, you will easily be able to filter on those. So the reps will easily know which accounts they should focus on to add their distribution manually versus those that they shouldn't. The banner chain information is available in top stores, my stores, the all stores and licensees, the detail called, as well as the my objectives. So you will easily be able to differentiate the accounts where we are scraping versus the ones we are not. Number 2, in terms of the data aspect, when looking at historical data, not only store inventory, but sales per month, etc. over the last year, we've decided to add the rep manual entry with the scraping. So if there's data in the rep manual entry or the scraping, it will be considered as a point of distribution. And this the sentence has been changed in all of our reports. In terms of distribution, we also have several additional options to calculate distribution across the country. As you can see, we've entered inventory online plus rep manual entry, which basically means this one in particular will be equal to the top stores, to the My Objectives tabs. Now, we've added manual entry manual entry including out of stocks, Again, the basis is inventory online plus rep manual entry. Rep manual entry separate from the online. And eventually, we will be calculating estimated sales based on inventory fluctuations, but keep in mind the rolling 3, rolling 6, and rolling 12 are not currently working in the markets. We don't have sales. So distribution, again, will also be visible in objective management here. So when you will be setting targets for the team in terms of objectives, the rep manual entry plus the scraping of the data will be able to guide you in giving objectives for your team. My objectives, I also wanted to show you this. So important, just to reiterate, if ever there is a yes, no in an account, a 1 will appear. If there's a rep manual entry, a 1 will appear. If we actually do have the inventory quantity, either in a top stores or in the My Objectives tab, you will see the actual quantity of the product, which is daily. So right now, currently in all of these, all of the provinces where we don't, in all of the provinces, we basically update the data daily when it comes to inventory scrapping or rep manual entry. So daily across the board. So I just want to reiterate, we have over 1,800 accounts uploaded in the system. Your national descriptions are key to doing the mapping in the back end. Without this, you won't be seeing much. So again, national descriptions are key. As soon as the AI kicks in June, it will help you. But you do have the ability to enter your national descriptions for the retailers that you deem very important and that you deem that you want to start seeing information right away, because you will be able to see them right away in the system. Any questions? Or if you want me to go through an example, another example, or anything.
Hi, Marika.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting the slides after, right? And I'm just wondering if there were any of the points that you just covered, like maybe in the comment section. I was trying to make some, but if you go back to slide 15, for example.
Yeah.
I think it was 15. Okay, so in there, how you were stating before that the banner will have this an asterisk to show where the data scraping is available. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that in there.
Information here, you can see the little stars. So really the little asterisk is at the end of the banner or the information.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And if I go to any of the reports, I go to SSD reports, and I click on any of your reps, even in their My Stores, if the banner chain column is checked off, you can easily see the stars, so you'll be able to filter, for example, like this on all of the banner chains where data is available.
Oh, great, thank you. And then I had a question, I don't know, I didn't see any hands, so I should put my hand up, sorry.
Go ahead.
With the product management, if there's a lot of different products in there that may not be related to the actual product.
What do you mean?
If you pull up any one of them, when you go into the national description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in there, if you had to select a different one, how some of them might be flour or cart. And we also have like some new people that had joined, so it's challenging where they might actually, and I did it this morning by accident, I put in a different national description, not knowing which one. Is that something that can be, I don't know, removed only for the ones that are actually attached to the product? Because those are beyond the product, right?
Yeah. Well, you'll be able to either sort in alphabetical order and then, enable row selection. And if there's a couple you want to change, you'll be able to change them right away. If ever there's a national description that you want to delete, you'll have to go through us because that's coming up in a month or so, where you'll be able to delete your own national description. It's just, it's kind of risky. The product management should be people that know the products and that know the portfolio very well. We don't want reps or, or anything like that playing around in here. It will impact what everybody sees in ezfocus. But right now you can't delete one, but you can change or remove. Just send us the list if ever there's one or two you want us to remove from the list. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So if we needed to remove it, could be something down the line. But for now, we can change all to become one, or add a new category, like a new way of spelling it. Could we do that instead? And
Yep.
instead of picking any of the ones that are in there, we
Yep.
can go in there and change the name for all at once to what, as close to what we want.
Yes. Yeah. Even though they currently have a national description, you can change it. That's no worries.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
Thanks. I had a question from Jacqueline. Can we please get the descriptions of each fields and the national product description? So yeah, national description. The fields are really product name, and once you're entering the national description, you will see what it looks like. Unless I misunderstood your question, but
it's those three in the middle there, Marika. So packaging number, size, and unit type.
Yeah.
The unit type I see as a drop down, but the other two are not drop down, so it's open to misinterpret.
Well, it's the unit, right? So let's say it's a pre-roll and it's a pack of 2. It would be two pre-rolls of 0.5, just for example. But yeah. So it's really the unit of each, how it's sold to the consumer.
Okay.
And then I have another question. Could we have the list of retailers available for us to see? Yes, you will get it after the call, and we will also put it in the FAQ, which I haven't mentioned earlier. So I have a list of all the retailers we are scraping. Will be in this section here in the FAQ. So at the end of the day, if you don't receive the email or the file, it will be here shortly.
So, Marika, the scraping is a daily exercise, right?
Yes.
And if I wanted to see if what products or what banners have I say lost distribution, what's the way to get that information based on the latest timestamp or status update date?
So there's a distribution report new. So here I would go either to inventory online or plus or manual entry, or just the inventory online. This is also updated daily, and you can have coverage on a monthly basis. So it's not daily in this case. But to your point, I'm thinking you're probably looking for an API. You could probably work on an API it doesn't exist at this point. I'll take note of it.
So that I can compare today's data with yesterday's data, right?
Yeah, okay. Good point. I have another question. Will ezfocus continue to improve coverage? Yes, the goal is to always get more and more. I believe the only chain that we don't have currently on the list that we're still working on is Fire and Flower. I'm just going to check if it's there. But the list will evolve. And yeah, Fire and Flower is not there at this point. But we're now, other than Fire and Flower, we're all at the banners that are under 4 accounts. So all of the major ones are there. But I've also requested, if ever there's certain chains that you deem important, don't hesitate to send them out to us if they're not on the list, because we don't know where to go at this point, because we are at the smaller chains right now. So for example, Risky, if you do have a couple of smaller chains that are important to you, let us know. Another question that I have is, all Historica data will be stored? Yes, we keep everything in the back end. So we do have everything. Honestly, we have some of these that date back as of January. So as of January, February, March, April, we got more and more. Now we're at 1,800. Another question from Deb, can we review the piece on adding retailers info into product management? Yeah, so you just have to email us, and we'll make sure that you have access to the new version. So if you're ready to go in that direction, just email me or Giselle, and you'll simply have to go to the little drop-down section here and add a retailer, and it will be added to your data. Just we haven't activated it yet for all clients, so if you're ready, we'll add it for you. Do you have visibility on top accounts by province? If so, what would be the priority to load list? Josh, I'm not sure I get your question. You can just elaborate verbally.
Just outside of banners, like on the independent front, if you had like the top 100 from each province, or I mean, we all have kind of loose access to those, but I'm just curious if you guys subscribe to that, so you guys have a list that you can load.
Well, we have all of the accounts, but we don't know which one are the most important ones. So as per the banners, that if you have a list of accounts that you feel that are independent, that are worth us looking onto their website, just send us a list of which ones that are important to you, and we'll look into them.
Okay. Thanks.
Aaron, I'm seeing that you're typing. I don't know if you want to just say your question.
No, sorry, I was just applying the keyword on the chat. It's no question in my behalf.
Any other questions or anything you want me to recap? Giselle and I are available in the next weeks if ever you guys want us to go through this with your team. Again, we are taking this session, so we'll be able to send it to you after this call. If ever you need us to do a little more of a training or anything, don't hesitate to reach out one-on-one. We also have, as you know, a lot of videos available directly in the system. So these will also be updated with the recent changes shortly. You just click on training videos and you'll have access to the videos directly in here. Any other questions?
Actually, I may have one then. Similar to the question that was just asked regarding the top 60 or like the independent accounts or top 50 or 100. Do we know, roughly speaking, how much coverage of the market do we have at our disposal right now, or not quite?
Yeah, that's
volume-wise.
Yeah, volume. Good question. In terms of accounts, I can answer that though.
Yep.
So we have about 60% of the opened accounts across the country with our 1,800 accounts. So 60% of the market. Ish. Not based on volumes.
Okay, thank you.
So there are a little over 3,000 accounts across the country. And we have 1,800 of those.
Marika, sorry, and forgive me if you've already said in your opinion yourself, I've got a sick kid over here, but can you clarify in either now or follow-up any necessary next steps for us to take? I don't know if I missed if there's anything that's hinged on us to input besides national descriptions on net new SKUs.
The national description is really the key to linking everything in the back end. That's really where the work is. I did 1,000 in the last 2 days, and it took me about 3 hours. The mass change does help. I was doing it for a client as a test because we had to test this, and with the mass changes and everything, and I don't even know the products of the client. So it did take me maybe a bit longer, but it does work pretty well. It just depends on the size of your portfolio, but you know, in my case, 1,000 took about 3 hours. So if you have, I don't know, 10,000 different product descriptions, depending on the number of retailers you're in, it can take longer, but it does give you a ballpark of how long it can take if you wanted to do your whole portfolio, for example.
Okay, so this calls on by, and again, forgive me, you already went over this, but by retailer, it's what they're listed as in their under their banner, and then we have to go through and rectify and have everything corrected to what we want it to have as a uniformity across the country.
Exactly, but the AI will kick in June, so the more you have done, the more everything in the back end will be like automated to a certain extent, but it's something that will be, automatic in June. It depends on the number of national descriptions you have. And it's going to continue to be a work in progress in the next couple of months as well, because the AI is new to us. So we have to create all the rules in the back end as well. So again, that's why if we add the retailers for you, and there are certain retailers that are key, I would recommend going to add those national descriptions, at least for your retailers, for the reps to be able to see their inventory and you to be able to track distribution sooner rather than later.
Nothing, a couple glasses of wine, a few edibles, maybe a joint, and plug through this for a few hours.
Exactly.
Like,
Any other questions? So I won't take you guys any longer. Sorry, I booked an hour and a half of your day on this. I thought maybe it would have taken a bit more time. So everybody has an extra hour to do other stuff today. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to myself or Giselle. We're available to answer any questions. This is really neat. It's really cool. It's going to give a lot of information, not only to you, but to your sales reps. So yeah, happy selling.
thanks, Brika. Have a good day.
Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you.